Hi, today I'm going to talk with you about how to know whether you should stay or go in a relationship. Hi, I'm Emma Coble. I'm a licensed professional counselor who sees clients in Colorado and Florida. So, one thing to note first off is that really, truly, the heart of this question of whether or not we should stay or go in a romantic relationship comes down to this whether or not this relationship can be a place that is safe and secure for us, where we can have a safe and secure base. When couples are debating whether or not they should stay or go, the relationship no longer feels like a safe place. Not necessarily because there's been some emotional or physical abuse happening, but they no longer feel seen. They no longer feel emotionally safe and secure with this other person. So when couples come into couples therapy, oftentimes they are asking this question. It's completely normal to be asking this question. And it's very valid to wonder if you should be staying or going. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to think about as you're considering this today. This is a really hard question, and it doesn't have obviously a simple one size fits all answer to it. Um, and it can feel so difficult for several reasons. One reason being you might remember moments of feeling really close to this person, and there's a lot of nostalgia and memories of the past that make it really hard to think about leaving. Um, but you might also feel really shut out, criticized, unheard, not seen in the relationship, and you might be feeling truly a lot of pain in the relationship right now. So you might be feeling very confused, and if so, that's totally normal. Um, a lot of people also wonder if they're asking too much from a partner, if they need to just sort of like change and modify what they want or need. Um, if it ever would be possible to get what they're wanting and needing from another person. And you also might fear making a wrong or a bad decision. And so these are some of the reasons this can feel really, really hard to grapple with. Um, Here are some signs that there might be some hope for the relationship. There's still some life in the relationship. One is if you feel like you've had a secure, functioning relationship in the past. So, times in your relationship where it did feel really safe, it did feel really secure for a little bit of time in the relationship. So, not just a week or something like that, but you've had times throughout the relationship where it's felt really stable and good. Another is if you feel it's both partners, both of you are really invested in making it work. And that's the thing that this really comes down to. If both of you are invested in putting in the work to make the relationship better, then that's incredibly hopeful and shows there's a lot you can do to make this relationship be healed. Um, Another is like if there's an openness to therapy. So, if both partners have a willingness and an openness to engage in therapy, therapy can be incredibly helpful and bring a lot of closeness and understanding to the cycle and the patterns you guys get stuck in and how to get out of that together. Also, if you share some values and dreams, about your life and you both want to grow together. So, here's some signs it might be time to step away. And again, this isn't one size fits all. But if there's emotional or physical abuse and you're feeling physically unsafe and maybe you've felt violated in a way that you just don't want to overcome or think it will be really possible for you to overcome. Um, Another is if your partner just refuses to engage. So, this is different from a partner who is kind of avoidant or doesn't really like to engage very much, but a partner who just absolutely says no to working on the relationship or doing couples therapy that doesn't leave you a lot to work with. When you feel like there's been a complete loss of respect for you, like just absolutely no consideration for you at all, and a constant violation of boundaries in the relationship. So you set a boundary, and that boundary is not seen or respected or heard over and over and over again. Okay, so even with this, the choice still might feel really hard. And again, these can also be gray areas. So you might look at this and think, well, there's a constant violation in that my partner, doesn't unload the dishwasher when I tell him to do that. And that might that might be a violation of a boundary, and it might not be an indication that like the relationship is absolutely done. So it's important to really investigate this deeply for yourself and for your own relationship. um, so EFT couples therapy can be really helpful because it can, as I was saying before, help you identify the negative patterns and cycle that you and your partner might be in, and it can show you how to break that cycle, how to break that patterning so that you can show up as loving, kind people for each other, and you can stop just triggering each other all the time over and over again. Um, so, if you're in this place, I would think about asking yourself um, if you feel safe being vulnerable, um, if your partner is willing to grow with you, and to think about starting to experiment with some small risks, experiment with some vulnerability, and seeking couples therapy. Another thing I would encourage you to do is to check in with your body and see what your body is telling you. Sometimes that's also very confusing, but remember that our body often knows things before our brain does. So, if you are needing help with this, I offer individual therapy as well as couples therapy. And I'd be happy to support you if you're in Colorado or Florida. Thanks so much.